Welcome back. You're still watching Fut-Afrique. It's that time of the show where we turn our attention to women's football, and who better to do it with than with Jessica. One thing about football, though, is that time and time again, you constantly have to prove yourself. It's not about what you did yesterday. All that matters is what you do today. That's exactly what Zambia did.
Such an unpredictable sport. I love that you mentioned that, because no matter the preparation, no matter how your result was in the last game, when you walk onto that field, it's a new result. And Zambia is just like, we're not here to play.
Absolutely. Not here to play. And what are we talking about? We're talking about those COSAFA Olympic qualifiers, where Zambia as well as Nigeria are the two nations that will represent the entire African continent at the Olympics out in Paris 2024. Let's talk about that. Morocco wanted to make history. Obviously, they made history by qualifying for the FIFA Women's World Cup. They thought that, okay, that was easy. Let's get the next tick in the box. But it was not to be.
Do you know where the danger is?
Undermining your peers.
Thank you. The danger is that team that you don't believe they actually can contend with you.
Yeah.
Morocco obviously coming from a good place. I mean, they literally very new into the space, but they've been dominating and doing exceptionally well. Zambia, on the other hand, is a team that's all quiet, but when it comes to the results, they definitely produce. They came in, they did their homework, and I think Morocco also got that early celebration with the win that they got, thinking that this is going to be a walk in a park. It's like playing a game against 10 men, 11 against 10.
Yeah.
Don't underestimate a team that's got 10 players, because it was so much.
That's harder.
Fun. And Zambia came and they said, we've never lost on this field and we're not about to start now.
Yeah.
And I'm super proud of them. Barbara Banda.
Oh, right? Barbara Banda, the woman who leads her team to the Olympics yet again. It's going to be really interesting to see. But when it comes to South Africa, one thing that I saw Jess put on social media is you were excited and you were proud of the marketing around the game, around South Africa and Nigeria. The turnout then was a different story.
That's true. And I think maybe the timing of it, I was super excited to see the difference. You know, change is better than nothing.
Yes.
However, perhaps the timing of it, had it been done prior, you know, it was
last minute. I feel like it was very last minute. It was just like, okay, guys, we need to let people know that we're playing today.
Thank you. The last minute thing, it was, I think the weather also played a very huge role in that. It was at 7:30 at night. You know, a lot of people are probably not comfortable in driving all the way to Pretoria at that time of the night. But I was happy to see that there's a little bit of change. I think learnings moving forward.
But I think also, Jess, what you're leaving out is, and correct me if I'm wrong, Sundowns was playing on the same day.
Thank you. Perhaps the timing also of the fixtures could be managed different. I mean, we've seen these cases where Banyana Banyana is playing, and there's another big...
And it's exhausting to know that we're constantly on the back foot, right? But I think with conversations like this, and when we bring it to the attention of those who are in charge, they will then start thinking differently. But let's talk about that South African setup when they went up against Nigeria. Desiree Ellis being... I don't want to say that she was being a risk taker, because I believe that she truly had a plan and she knew what she was doing. Your assessment of Banyana in that first 45.
I wanted to ask you, what was the plan? But
listen, we don't have, it's clear, we do not have Fox in the middle, right, as our holding midfielder. Therefore, we need to find a link as to how we can work with Refilwe Jane and Linda Motlhalo to connect with the front. And also defense is also new faces that we saw there too.
New faces we saw. And you speak about defense. I actually just want to give a big shout out to the goalkeepers, because I think throughout this tournament, we've been seeing the dance of the goalkeepers, which a lot of people don't actually speak about. We saw double saves. We saw people making the right calls and making sure that they are really supporting their defense. But going back to the Banyana Banyana team, first leg, I believe we played a better game. However, we just didn't find that goal. And we know how the first goal happened. An error in the box, and then it's a penalty. It could have ended in a draw, and perhaps we could have led to extra minutes and then to penalties. But it would have been a difficult conversation knowing that Shamaka is the,
my girl was ready to be at war for her country.
Definitely. But when we saw the starting lineup for the second leg, I think a lot of people were thrown off to see, Hilda Magaya not starting when she's a primary starter and somebody that we know dominates and she bosses that upfront lineup. And I think she's a person who scores goals. And at that particular moment for a game like that, we need somebody who can score goals. We saw the introduction of Nomvula Khwale playing as a winger, which we are used to seeing Ramalepe on that side because of the pace and because she's predominantly playing that position in club level. So it was a lot of changes that we did not understand. And I mean, we saw the inclusion of Refilwe Jane, who just came back now. now, and Fox was missing as well, somebody that we know does so well in that midfield as well. So I think it was a chop and change, a very big risk that you and I spoke about in the last segment, in the last show, to say, do we introduce these drastic changes in a match like that? Because it's very important that we use what we know and perhaps introduce these changes in the second half when we know we are at ease. So I think it was a bit of a touch and go for me.
Yeah, a touch and go, but we know that the COSAFA Awards are coming up. Desiree Ellis is nominated as a coach that's on the line. We also have Mamelodi Sundowns coach Jerry Shabalala and also coach Bruce from Zambia, right? He now goes to the Olympics. Desiree Ellis does not go to the Olympics. And then Jerry Shabalala, Champions League is waiting. So how does that dynamic then make that interesting?
So unfortunately, with the particular achievement, basically for Mwape, it doesn't actually influence the decision for his award for the COSAFA Awards, because the performance is based on what happened in the year of 2023, from January all the way to December. So obviously, any performance that happens now, so Jerry and Des and Mwape are on a clean slate when it comes to next year's award. So Mwape is already in the lead with regards to qualifying, and then any performance that they're going to do will they basically be judged next year. But for now, it's just going to be the luck of anyone.
Okay, fair. But just between you and I, just
he really deserves it. And you know what?
I
got a lot of messages from players in the DMs and social media actually saying that I think this is time for Jerry to actually take his flowers. He's done so.
You must slaughter a chicken. Let's do it now.
I agree.